StadiumDB.com presents UEFA Euro 2036 Potential Stadium Bids. Over the past few decades, the Euro has been hosted by countries that were well prepared for the event. Will we experience a breath of fresh air in 2036? UEFA avoids awarding the tournament often to the same country, so perhaps we will see some interesting combinations. In this video, we will outline the possible bids. The candidacy should include 10 stadiums. A stadium with a minimum capacity of 60,000 and 50,000 seats, 4 venues with a minimum capacity of 40,000 and 3 with a minimum capacity of 30,000. Here we go! Our first suggestion is Spain. Although they will be hosting the World Cup in 2030, the Euro in Spain was last held in 1964. As the tournament has recently been held in Germany and France, there are not many countries left that can manage to host the Euro on their own. The smallest of the stadiums on the list of Spanish stadiums was the Espanyol venue. Although UEFA allows stadiums under 40,000 seats for the Euro, Spain does not have to use such. The Barcelona venue was built for 75 million euros. Real Arena made its debut in 1993, but underwent a major redevelopment between 2017 and 2019. The stands are now very close to the pitch, making it very comfortable to watch matches. Nueva Romareda will be prepared for the 2030 World Cup, so the changes can also be used 6 years later. Therefore, it would certainly be cheaper to hold the Euro in Spain, as no major work would have to be done. La Rosaleda is also hosting the World Cup, and the stadium on this occasion will have its capacity increased by half of its previous capacity. The modernization is expected to cost 260 million euros. The last of the Spanish stadiums under 50,000 capacity is Estadio de Riazor. If the Euro comes to A Coruña, it will be 92 years after the stadium's inauguration. It is a beautifully located venue that can be seen from the beach. We move to a modern stadium also located in the city by the sea, Bilbao. Surrounded by a river and beautiful hilly terrain, San Mamés stands out on the map of Spanish stadiums. It was built on a site a few meters from where its predecessor stood. Sevilla will have several stadiums that could host Euro matches in 2036, but we have chosen Benito Villamarín, which will be transformed into a modern venue along the lines of Bernabeu. At the time of the tournament, Betis Stadium would already be more than 100 years old. Among the top 3 stadium is, of course, Metropolitano, which is trying to stay in line with the 2 venues in Spain that set the rhythm for infrastructure development in the Iberian Peninsula. Madrid's larger and more modern venue is Bernabeu, which has undergone a major metamorphosis, especially from the outside. The inside of the stadium has also received changes that have made the arena one of the most popular sporting destinations. There is prestige in favor of Bernabeu, but size cannot be dismissed by Camp Nou. The future biggest stadium in Europe will have to struggle a little before it can match its predecessor, but a capacity of over 100,000 fans is impressive. That's twice the capacity of San Mamés. We move to the east, where we get to know the bid of the countries that hosted the Euro in 2000, the Netherlands and Belgium. In this case, both nations would have to prepare significantly to be up to the task. Nonetheless, it would be an interesting destination with Euros in countries of strong national teams. The first and smallest of the Dutch stadiums to be expanded before the Euro is Helredom in Arnhem. The facility has no stands in the corners, so this is where an extension of a few thousand seats could be envisaged. Similar expansion possibilities in the corners are available at Hargewaard Stadium in Utrecht. As attendance has remained high for many years, there has been thought of extending the west stand behind the goal. Perhaps the Euro would be a good opportunity to do so? Slightly above the minimum capacity requirements of a Euro stadium is the venue in Twente. The facility has an English style and the east stand is much lower than the others, which creates scope for expansion. After it, the stadium could hold 45,000 fans. Plans to expand to 45,000 seats also emerged in Eindhoven, but as they were part of the bid to host the 2018 World Cup, they were postponed after the failure in that competition. The venue hosted Euro matches in 2000. There were many plans and designs for a new stadium for Feyenoord in the 21st century, but none of them came to fruition. The stadium currently has more than 50,000 seats, and for the Euro, at least one must have more than 60,000 capacity. Perhaps this is the facility that could be expanded to this level? One of the most important stadiums at Euro 2000 was Johan Cruyff Arena. It has a capacity of less than 60,000, so the venue would not host the final, nor can it host the Champions League final. It is still the most famous stadium in the Netherlands and often appreciated by UEFA. The expansion of Stade des Lessines, announced since 2016, may be necessary if Belgium and the Netherlands were to host the Euro. However, the realization of the project would mainly benefit Standard Liège. When the project was conceived, it was valued at 100 million euros, but it would certainly cost more now. The concept of building a new stadium for Club Brugge on the site of Olympic complex, where Jan Breydel Stadium stands, goes back many years, and the hosting of the Euro would be an ideal opportunity to realize the project. Inaugurated in 1930, the largest stadium in Belgium is now Stade Roi Baudouin. Although the stands do not completely surround the pitch, the capacity is just under 50,000. At Euro 2000, the stadium was the third largest and hosted the semi-finals. An interesting figure on the list is Eurostadium, proposed in Grimbergen, north of Brussels. It would have a capacity of 62,613 seats. In 2015, the construction date was set to 2019, and so the facility could host the Euro 2020 matches. Perhaps with the hosting of the event in 2036, the topic would return. The second country that could organize the Euro on its own is Poland. For this to be successful, not that many stadiums would need to be renovated, and many cities already have experience in hosting international matches, including European Cup finals or Euro games. One of the facilities that can be expanded is the Municipal Stadium in Łódź. The team that plays at this venue fills the stands 100% every time, and more fans wait for the chance to enter the stadium. The expansion could therefore make a positive contribution not only in the context of the Euro. Second on the list, the arena in Bydgoszcz also has potential for expansion. The athletics track surrounding the pitch provides opportunities to bring the stands closer together and to add new rows at the front. The facility is not roofed, so an extension with additional stories is feasible. Slightly above the minimum required for Euro stadiums is Legia Warsaw's facility. It is known for having one of the best atmospheres at European club matches. The venue did not host a tournament in 2012, so this would be a debut on the international stage. Given the number of spectators Arena Zabrze can hold, we would probably see group matches in Silesia. The stadium is distinctive for its steep stands and interesting black facade. The facility ranks among the largest in Poland's top football league. The venue has been refurbished before the European Games in 2023. Will these changes be enough to make Krakow the host city? The capacity of the arena is sufficient to welcome Europe's best footballers. For fans from abroad, the historic city of Krakow would be a plus. Probably the most beautiful stadium among the Polish bid, the architects came up with the idea that the arena should resemble amber, the gold of the Baltic, shimmering in shades of bright and warm colors. The stadium is located in another city worth visiting, Gdańsk. The stadium in Wrocław cost almost 1 billion zlotys. For this price, Wrocław received the largest modern stadium in Europe with single-level stands. The facility was awarded to host the final of the Europa Conference League in 2025. One of the stadiums that are certainties in Poland's potential bid is Enea Stadion. It has already hosted Euro 2012 matches and still meets the requirements to do so again. The stands are irregular, and leaving them could allow the already large stands to be enlarged. Stadion Śląski has a secure place in the category under the title Stadium with a capacity of at least 50,000 spectators. Perhaps the expansion of this stadium to a capacity of 60,000 seats would be relatively simple, as there is space between the roof and stands of the Chorzów Arena at one point. The national stadium where the Polish national team most often plays is very close to crossing the magic 60,000 seat mark. Over the years of its existence, the arena has won the organization of the final of the Europa League, the European Super Cup and the semi-final of the aforementioned Euro 2012. We are halfway through the material, so it's a good time to ask you to like the video and to subscribe to the channel. Thanks! Have you heard about Balkan bid for Euro 2028 or the 2030 World Cup? Such an idea has been developed and even proposed stadiums have been put forward. It is very likely that this topic will return in the preparations for Euro 2036. A tournament there would be a breath of fresh air and the most original option. Dan Paltinișanu Stadium is a proposed football stadium in Timișoara, Romania. If completed, it will replace the stadium of the same name built in 1963. The new stadium would be one of the several above 30,000 seats in Romania. The stadium in Craiova is not as futuristic as the first concept envisaged, but it stands out from other venues in the country. The stands are undulating, which creates a visually interesting effect that harmonizes with the whole, and the seats are very close to the pitch. The club's CSA Steaua facility seats just over 30,000 and is a new stadium inaugurated in 2021. The plans for it were also spectacular, but instead a classic-looking facility was built. The largest Romanian and original-looking venue is the National Stadium in Bucharest. Above it is a rope roof covered with a membrane, which has a movable section above the pitch. The stadium could host the Euro semi-finals. Euro matches in Greece will be hosted among others at Stadio Georgios Karaiskakis in Piraeus, which was originally built for the first modern Olympics in 1896. At the time it served as a velodrome, not a football venue. On the occasion of the 2004 games, the stadium was transformed into the best football stadium in all of Greece. With a capacity of 40,000, Neo-Gepido Panathinaikou will resemble the stadium in Leipzig. Its construction will also help the local club and allow it to bid to host, for example, the final of the Europa Conference League. In the entire bid, the largest stadium for the final is Stadio Olympiakos Spiros Louis. It underwent its most significant refurbishment prior to the 2004 Olympics and has been used over the years by some of Greece's biggest clubs as hosts, as well as hosting the Champions League final. The two Serbian stadiums for the Euro are located in Belgrade and have similar capacities. The first is the so-called Maracana, which would need upgrading before the tournament. The stadium would probably be used for the quarterfinals. Slightly larger is the new National Stadium, which has been in the plans for a long time, and the idea is being realized. The venue, which would host the Serbian national team, would also be proposed as the stadium for the Europa League final. It could be the most modern Euro stadium. In the proposal of these four countries, the biggest stadium problem is in Bulgaria, where the national stadium in Sofia or other venue would have to be upgraded. Either way, they are falling into despair and need major changes to be part of the Euro. The final proposal, which also consists of four countries, is a joint bid from Denmark, Norway, Sweden and Finland. A lot of work would have to be done in terms of stadium infrastructure in these countries for the idea to materialize, but the Scandinavian countries have been trying to organize the Euro for a long time. Denmark has two stadiums that could host Euro matches, the smaller one being Brøndby Stadium. It is surrounded by stands on all sides and it would be difficult to expand, but the additional over few thousand seats would be needed to enable the venue to host group matches. Denmark's capital, Copenhagen, is home to the famous Parken, which was used during Euro 2020. The corners of the stadium could be filled with stands and the venue would then have over 40,000 capacity. The arena is known for its very passionate crowd. Inaugurated in 1947, Trondheim Stadium has a capacity of 21,000, so an extension would be needed. The stands could be added in the corners where they are currently missing. In these four countries, Norway has the smallest stadiums, so any of the current facilities would probably be enlarged, as is the case with Ullevål Stadion. The venue lacks less than 3,000 seats to meet the minimum requirements, and such work is possible. The prestigious Norwegian National Stadium project has been developed for Euro 2016. The design shows a facility with a capacity of 55,000 spectators and with a roof that can completely enclose the stadium to allow multidisciplinary events to be held even in the most adverse climatic conditions. Among stadiums from Sweden, the smallest would be Eleda Stadion. Standing areas are changed to seats for international matches, giving a reduced capacity of 20,500 spectators. The facility would therefore have to undergo significant changes. Tele2 Arena in Stockholm is a venue with a retractable roof. Its total capacity is 33,000 spectators when standing sectors are included. Excluding these seats, therefore the stadium would have a capacity close to that required by UEFA. Sweden's oldest stadium in bid for the Euro is Nya Ullevi Stadium, which is already aging. It has an athletics track and has old infrastructure, so a modernization there would be useful. Similar to Tele2 Arena is a stadium with an unusual name, Strawberry Arena. The first match in the venue's history was Sweden's match against England, won 4-2, made famous by Ibrahimovic's bicycle kick goal. The stadium could host the Euro semi-finals. Finland would have one stadium for Euro 2036, which is located in Helsinki. Olympiastadion was the home of the 1952 Games, and the roof was built over all the stands in the 21st century. As it stands today, it could host the group's matches. The athletics track is not expected to be removed. We have already discussed all the bids we think are most likely in the context of Euro 2036. Write in the comments where you would most like to see this tournament or which other countries deserve it. See you in the next videos.